What is good, guys? Today we're working on the 33.4 again. We've got a drift event on Wednesday at Tsukuba 1000. It's kind of like a big Yoshio factory, like half a day of drifting and then the other half of crazy barbecue, awesome Japanese fun. Anyways, I'm just kind of doing like, you know, touch-ups and stuff on the car, making sure everything's all good, doing checkovers and things. But what I really want to do is I want to try and sort out my intake piping a little bit better for, you know, like the pod filter and the entry into the turbo. And I'll show you why. So I have two concerns with the intake piping setup. First of all is the silicon coupler that connects to the front of the turbo has a rad kink in it because it's bent a little bit too far this way, which is kinked the bend. So we want to fix that, increase airflow to the turbo. The second thing we want to do is I want to move this pod filter and tuck it in deeper down in behind the headlight. And that's because there's a hole there from the old side mount intercooler setup, and I want this to be able to suck in colder air because at the moment I'm having a lot of problems with my air intake temps being too high once I've been drifting for a few minutes because it's just sucking in all the hot air from the turbo and the radiator because no airflow gets through here. So we're going to try and help that as much as we can. And then we've got one other small mod that we're going to do that's like the biggest JDM hot boy mod you could ever do to make yourself look total badass and cool in Japan. And we'll get to that after we sort all this out. Alright guys, so mission accomplished. We got the pod filter closer behind the headlight and covering that old hole. We've also got that silicon 45 angle coupler there with no kinks in it now, which is great. What I was able to do was these 45mm bended 3-inch piping that I got when I initially did the turbo upgrade was I cut just this straight piece off one, right? And I was using this for the pod filter straight into that that silicon coupler on the front of the turbo. But what I found was if I used the other piece that was chopped here, I was able to use that and twist it on an angle in such a way that the 45 pulled it back in this way. So it worked out really well. The only thing was I don't have a bracket or anything fabbed up to kind of hold this steady. So I had to put a zip tie around the intake piping here to this intercooler pipe so to stop it from like flying around. So this should be much better. Ideally what I really want to do is have a full alloy piece fabbed up, and we'll put like a little bolt point on there and do up a nice bracket and stuff like that. But we'll have to do that in the future when I got some spare cash to pay Denny to fab it up because I can't, you know, TIG weld alloy or anything like that. So we'll have to wait till we can do that, but for now that'll do. Hopefully should see some colder air intake temps, but you know, we'll play it by ear. The other thing that we're going to be doing is this, probably the most JDM tackiest thing you could ever do to your car, but here in Japan you need to kind of have tow hooks, otherwise this happens when your car gets towed off track. Let me show you. This is going on the rear. This isn't going on the front. Initially, I wanted this to go on the front, but I realized that this needs to be like another 30 centimeters longer because of how far in the factory tow point is that this bolts onto. So we're going to put it on the rear because here in Japan, they would like you to have it on the front and rear if you're on track. And I'm hoping that we can just kind of get it something like that. I don't want it like hanging all the way out like this, or, you know, up like that, you know, I don't want it to look super tacky. I mean, this thing costs $15 on Yahoo auctions. I'm pretty sure it's China. It says EP Man and it says Racing Parts Italy, and it's like all wonky and all over the place, the laser writing there. So I'm pretty sure it's fake in China. I mean, it could break off. I don't really know. It was $15 and lots of people here in Japan have bought them, so I figured I'd give it a go. So we'll bolt that on, we'll see how it goes. And hopefully it doesn't look too tacky, otherwise I'll rip it straight off and just YOLO it without one again. Okay guys, so welcome to underneath my car. And this is a really simple install. You get this kind of clamping mechanism with 2 bolts. And all you do is you leave one kind of loosely bolted in so you got the space, slide the 2 over, then slide the first bolt through to the other side, and then line it up where you want it to be, and then put the washer and the bolt back onto the other side, and then you just tighten it down and clamp it on. It's that simple. Now, I don't really heaps of people throw these on their cars and they never go to the tracks and stuff like that. I mean, they have become a bit of a, I guess a thing for hot boy like JDM guys, right? But when you've actually got it for the purpose of at the track, I think it's okay to have on your car, is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to justify for myself because I kind of really didn't like these things, seeing them on people's cars. And I'm just finishing tightening this up. And she's on there pretty solid now. Don't think she's gonna go anywhere. It's good for a tow, I think. We'll just make sure she's definitely nice and tight. It's hard because the spanner I'm using is the one I cut short for when I did the turbo install, for fitting it into short spaces. Yeah, we're good, nice and tight. All right, let's show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so here's the towing point. It definitely does look kind of tacky, but I mean, it's there for a purpose. It's not there for show. It'll be interesting to see if that'll even hold up because, it was such a cheap item. So if I ever fall or get stuck in a ditch and they need to pull me out from the rear, it'll be interesting to see if it'll break or not. I think what annoys me the most about it is this stupid lasering etched writing on here, EP man, and that freaking Racing Parts Italy. So what I might try and do is when the car gets all painted and stuff, I'll probably get that painted yellow or something. But the front definitely still needs to happen. I need to work out a kit or fabricate up something for that so I can get something coming to around about just in here, not sticking out, but just like a hook here so that when they hook on to tow me out, it's not gonna rip the bumper or anything, because I don't want my new bumper, once that gets put on, to get damaged if I need to get towed or anything like that. But yeah, overall, I'm not entirely sure I'm going to keep it on. I might just unbolt it when I'm not at the track if it kind of bothers me or gets in my way. I'm a tall person, so I tend not to look where my feet are. So if I find that this hits my shin when I'm walking around the car sometimes, that'll definitely get bolted off and only go on when I'm at the track. Yeah, anyways, let's pack up all my tools and everything, and then we'll continue from there. All right guys, so I'm out running some errands right now and I'm gonna do a few pulls with the windows down. You guys tell me if you can hear a difference. I think I can hear a slight difference with the extra longer intake piping, but I'll flick the mic around, do a few pulls when I get out on the highway, and you guys tell me what you think. Hopefully those pulls kind of came through the mic okay. Even though I use a Rode Video Mic Pro kind of shotgun mic, I find that when I listen to the footage that I film of my car driving it and doing pulls and stuff, it just doesn't do it justice. It sounds so much better in person. So hopefully you guys could hear it okay, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys think the difference is down in the comment section. But otherwise guys, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Thanks heaps for watching. I hope you did enjoy this video. Like I said in the previous one, it's generally those little things that count. Although this video wasn't just adding little things. I mean, obviously the tow hook was a tacky little thing, but the intake, definitely a big thing for me. I've noticed a 3-degree temperature drop with my intake temps just from driving around on a hot day, which is great. It means that the filter's definitely sucking up some colder air from that hole there, and definitely I think we're going to probably see it drop maybe another 3 degrees if I get some ducting in there, forcing some colder air up in there. And another thing I want to try and do is maybe put a vent in my bonnet there to let some of the hot air escape out there. I don't know, all things I'm thinking of doing. What we might even do is just space the back of the bonnet up higher so there's a big gap there to let the hot air push out. That's another thing you can do. There's a lot of things we can do there to get the hot air out of the engine bay. So we'll play with that and experiment and see how we go in the future. But for now, once again, thanks heaps for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out all my social media down in the description, and if you want to send me anything, my PO box address is there as well. But I'll catch you on the next video, guys. Ja mata ne.